Slightly different plan for today's episode because if you read the fine print of your agreement when you watch this YouTube channel, you'll see that management reserves the right to make whatever changes they deem necessary, and we are doing so. So we have a little bit of a different plan on tap than what was promised in the last episode because, well, it's not every day you manage your 400th game in your career. And hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 87 of Bottom to the Top. I'm Mr. Cellophane. I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic Tuesday so far. Here we are. Fulham currently sitting in 7th place in the Premier League after 14 matches. Manchester City has just absolutely taken the Premier League by the throat, and we've gotten the life choked out of us. 12 wins in 14, currently sitting top of the table on 36 points, 9 points ahead of Arsenal in second. But if you look below that, only 2 points separating second from 7th. In fact, we've only lost 3 times all year long. Only City, Arsenal, and Wolves have fewer losses on their docket. So we have been playing well, just not quite good enough. 4 matches have been played in the league since the last episode. Just the one loss to Arsenal, 4-1. We really just could not get that match in gear at the Emirates. However, 2-0 against Sunderland. We kept another clean sheet against Chelsea. Unfortunately, we could not get any past their goalkeeper as well. And a 3-0 thrashing of Man United. Emmanuel Omega finally finding his scoring boots. He now has 3 on the year. Rumyantsev. People who are making comments about how they like the Russian, well, the Russian has 8 goals so far this season to lead all members of the Fulham side. We also did take care of business in the Champions League. We'll talk about that in a second. 2-0 win over FC Utrecht, the team that I forgot we had sold Andre Lucas Gudjansson to. He did not feature in that match. However, Emmanuel Omega, Tom Burford scoring in that one. In fact, they've scored in 2 of their last 3, so those guys are starting to get going. Omega obviously did not score for a while in the beginning of the season. We kept giving him opportunities, but Rumyantsev basically displaced him at the top of the depth chart. Tom Burford was out for a number of months, so he is finally starting to get into his groove. So we've got Everton coming up away at Bramley-Moore Dock. It's our 400th match in charge of, well, any team in this Journeyman save. And then we host Sporting Braga, a mid-table team in the Champions League, to round out today's episode. Before we take a look at the full lineup, we do have one major change taking place today. Nikola Shevlina fractured his lower arm in that match against Arsenal. That was part of the problem. He is going to be out for the next 3 to 5 weeks. So Kim Soon-il, the 19-year-old Korean from Suwon that we picked up over the summer, well, he's going to be getting the start. He has already made 1 start in the Premier League. That was against Manchester United. Kept the clean sheet. He has conceded 3 in 2 appearances in the league, although he is, to be fair, also the keeper for the Korean side that has been playing in the AFC qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup. He's made 10 starts there, only given up 4 goals, kept 6 clean sheets. So Kim Soon-il can play football. Hopefully he can take care of Everton when we need him to. In front of him, the team is going to look like this. It's going to be Guest, Akahoman, Gnayem, and Couchman as our back 4. Joe Jones will be at the base of the midfield with Kim Young-suk and Tom Burford. Ahead of him, Marco Morales moved to the bench. We're paying him $165,000 a week, and he is not starting this match. On the left wing, we do have Federico Juarez, who got an assist in the Man U match coming in off of the bench. We figured it's only fair to give him some playing time. Federico Guerrero will start on the right wing, and Nikolai Rumyantsev already mentioned, leading the team with 8 goals this season. He's made 11 starts, 16 total appearances, and he has played pretty darn well for us. Hopefully we can get through this period relatively unscathed until Nicolas Shivlina comes back. Mario Williams is on the bench as our backup goalkeeper. There's a massive drop-off after Seun Il. Fernandez off of the free kick. First highlight for Everton, and that one's going to sail out with no real major threat. But Fulham not doing a whole heck of a lot in this first 15 minutes. In fact, only about 40% of the possession of the ball. So far, we have been playing a possession game. Things are tightening up, though. You'll now see only 1 point separating us from Arsenal. Of course, this is match 15 for Fulham. Somehow we've gotten ahead of everybody else, besides Everton, of course. So, games in hand all around. So, let's take whatever position we end up, especially if we win, with a grain of salt. Marvin Akahomen controlling, playing it back for Kim Seun-il, trying to get the ball out of our defensive third. Couchman from Gnayem. He's got a few options ahead of him, although he needs a rest. I mean, I brought him in to be our starting center back, 20 years old, feeling a little bit jaded. Turned over Onana. Akahomen, that's bad. That whole thing was just Everton needs to score on this play, and here's how we're going to do it. Marvin Akahomen just listless. And again, I don't know if this is just the way the match engine goes, but it started off with Burford and that terrible, terrible dribble right into the defender, and then Marvin Akahomen not being able to do anything. And, well, Everton leads 1-0 to start things off, and Akahomen just picked up a yellow card as well. We're going to demand more from our team because that was not a goal that we should have given up. Again, these tight dribbles just make it seem like our team has absolutely no interest in moving the ball forward at all. Couchman, I mean, he's got 15, 17 pace, great acceleration. Oh, thrown forward. Rumyantsev in the box, knocked away from Badea. Guerrero will collect it, gets it back in for Rumyantsev. Guerrero, Burford, sitter, goal. 1-1. Tom Burford right in front, and he just made it look so simple. Badea knocking it away from Rumyantsev. Guerrero giving it back to the Russian along the baseline. Guerrero in front. Nothing Jones could do about that one. And that's the score we take into the half. Things picked up a little bit for Fulham. I mean, 1.0 XG on 3 shots, 2 on target versus Everton's 0.17. We just need to create some more chances. So don't lose faith, everybody. We're going to send out the exact same team for this second half. And we just really need to pour on the gasoline onto the fire that we're hoping to start. Juarez not having the greatest match, however. Federico Guerrero is exhausted. He'll be replaced by Moutinho. Juarez will make way for Toshimitsu Endo. We're making changes relatively early here, as Everton with the first highlight of the second half off of the throw-in. Ahmedhodzic up for Amadou Onana. Motor runs into a bit of trouble, so he's back for Badea. Jurashek, Malero feeding Fernandez. Heavy touch, though, taken away by Couchman. Kim Young-suk now just standing there with the ball. Just stand there with the ball, and McNeil's in, and McNeil's going to score. How am I supposed to believe that Football Manager does not have scripted plays? Because, and I'll tell you why I think so. Besides the fact that, I mean, Kim Young-suk just standing there with the ball was patently ridiculous. But I had a situation, nice header by Khaled Gnayem, his second corner kick goal of the year to equalize once again at 2. So I was playing an offline save in Latvia, and we were awarded a penalty. And I went in, and I like to have this policy sometimes. Don't do it as much in these episodes, but I do it on stream a lot, where I give the penalty kick opportunity to the player that earns the penalty. So I made the change. The guy I changed to misses the penalty. But in the score over here, it said, even though it didn't say we were up 1-0, oh, what a play by Afonso Moutinho. Just dribbling it past everybody to put it past Jones to give Fulham the 3-2 lead. Akahoman and Guest are not playing very well. So let's see if we can make some changes to this. I will finish my story as soon as I have the opportunity. We're actually going to give Pedro Iglesias an opportunity to come in. It's going to be his first play for Fulham, as we have yet another highlight in the 68th minute. Couchman carrying it up that right side, feeding Moutinho, taking it deep in the middle. Rumyantsev blocked, and Everton able to clear. So he missed the penalty, but in the... I forget what they call this, the score sheet. It showed the original guy who would have taken the penalty as having scored. So even though the score still was at the time 0-0, for the remainder of the first half, it showed that we had, in fact, scored the goal, even though we didn't, because FM was expecting us to have scored that goal. Everton corner, Malero is going to send that in. Looking back post, Fernandez hitting it a little bit too strong. We've got less than 10 minutes remaining in this match. Kim Young-suk, well, everyone's feeling a little bit tired, to be perfectly honest, but Marco Morales is going to come and take his spot. And as we were talking about, just like that, it is so close up top. Fulham has moved into second place if this result holds. Can we pull out the victory in Nick Bottom's 400th match in charge in his 10-year now career? We can. Full time has been achieved. 14-9 your shots on goal. Everton still did enjoy the majority of the possession, but a header on a set piece by Khaled Gnaim tied things up at 2, and then 2 minutes later, Afonso Moutinho taking it himself, in fact, earning player of the match honors for that, put us ahead 3-2, and that is where we end up. Which brings us back to the Champions League. Coming into Craven Cottage is going to be Sporting Braga, currently sitting 13th on the table. We are in 4th. 3 wins, 2 draws, no losses. Our wins coming against Utrecht, Napoli, and Young Boys, and of course, drawing Monaco and Ferencváros, both on the road, hoping to continue our stellar run of form in Europe. And the player with the highest average rating in the entire competition is going to be starting at striker, and that is Nikolai Rumyantsev. Tom Burford is going to slot in as our left wing. Federico Guerrero will be on the right side. It'll be a midfield 3 of Marco Morales, Kim Young-suk, and Joe Jones. Alex Guest, Marvin Akahoman, Pichi Yabu in place of Gnaim, who needs a rest, and Luke Couchman as our back 4. Kim Seun-il as our goalkeeper. Mario Griffith once again is going to be on the bench. Hopefully we can get Shavlina back in the fold in time for our matches in January against Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. Sporting Braga, though, is on the docket first. I believe that a victory today will guarantee us a spot in the knockout rounds. We are on 11 points, currently sitting in 4th, and we control the ball in the first 3 minutes. Guest will play it back for Jones. He has a man on him, but not a ton of pressure being put on by the Braga side. Tom Burford with it. Ahead, Rumyantsev playing it for Guest, moving it forward, gets past one man before he circles back, taking it wide, can't feed Burford. He will intercept, though. Marco Morales shooting it from range, and not the greatest shot, but from 20 yards out, Marco Morales picks up his 7th goal of the season in all competitions, to give Fulham the 1-0 lead here in the rain in London. Victor picking it off, but Burford intercepting his clearance attempt, finding Marco Morales. Another goal contribution for Tom Burford. He has done a masterful job since he has come back from his injury, which is a good thing to see because it felt like Burford was very quickly going to become the odd man out. Now, Marco Morales, we've talked about in previous episodes, he does have some disciplinary issues that have become a concern. He's got a tremendous amount of value relative to what we purchased him for. And we have a ton of guys who can play in the midfield and on the wing. Burford carrying it up. He's got it in the box. Taking it deep. Will stop. Drop it for Alex Guest. Guest taking a step forward. His shot is going to... Well, that's going to be wide. That's not the greatest finish for what was a stellar move. Victor with the corner kick. Burford clears it. Miguelino back with the ball. Looking far post. Munoz heading it on. And he's not going to get a lot of power behind that. And it will pop up harmlessly over the crossbar and go out of play for a Fulham goal kick. 5-3, your shots on goal. More importantly, 70% of the possession going Fulham's way. As Kim Young-suk tries to knock it free. Jones with it. Rumyansev playing it back for Kim Young-suk. Couchman with it. I lost my light. What happened to my light? Oh, well, this is embarrassing. Joe Jones, back for Bichiabu. It's mood lighting here on this episode. What can go wrong has gone wrong. Marvin Akahoman ahead for Morales. He's got Burford. Dropping back into his own zone. Akahoman. Once again for Burford. Along the sideline, Guest. Akahoman. We've played 43 minutes in this first half. Fulham looking to add a second goal. Joe Jones. Kim Young-suk across from Morales. Tipped forward for Burford. Into the box. Morales shooting. And João Gonçalves able to make that save. And that should take us to the end of the first half. I'm going to try to fix my light. 6-5, your shots on goal. 1-0 the score. Fulham leads after the first. Plug it into a different adapter and it's magically going to work. Beto with the ball on a kickoff highlight for Sporting Braga to start this second half. Phillips still controlling his end, plays the Victor along the near side. Munoz looking forward for David Washington. He's going to find him, and Washington is going to put it past Kim Seon-il to tie this match up at 1. 23 seconds into this second half. And this was one of those where multiple players had an opportunity to get there before David Washington did. Bichiabu, Akahoman, neither of them coming up large in that opportunity. I think if I had Gnaim in there, he might have been able to make that play. Drawing back even drops us back into 5th. We are still a top 8 side. Kim Young-suk feeding up the left wing. Burford keeping it in the corner along the byline. He's got a man on him. Guest knocks it free. Burford into the middle. Morales blocked. Correa will clear, and Munoz will move it further afield. 7-6, your shots on goal. We've played just about 60 minutes of this match, and I think the legs are starting to get a little bit weary on the Fulham side. We have had a ton of matches to play. Toshimitsu Endo is going to take the place of Tom Burford, who has had a good game. However, tired legs are tired legs. Jair is going to make his way in place of Marvin Akahoman as well, who's feeling a little bit nervous. His body language after that goal just was not what we wanted to see. 2 changes to be made. Free kick for Fulham, not going to end up doing anything. Nice long throw in by Guerrero. Can't get it past Beto, but Guerrero will get the clearance. Drops it for Morales, who looks to restart. Up for Guest. Guest. Left wing for Endo. For Jair. Turns. Looking back post. Can't get to Guerrero. Played away, but Endo tracking it down along the near sideline. Jair. Guest in the box. Endo moving it to his right. Shooting and scoring. Toshimitsu Endo with his second goal of the year. Alex Guest picking up the assist. It's 2-1 Fulham. Endo, most players would probably have tried to put it across the goalkeeper, go far post, but instead he tucked it in to the near side. The goalkeeper was leaning to his left, and Endo took advantage of that. Just a couple of minutes remaining in this match. Fulham, with the win, will sit on 14 points in second place. Victor throwing it into the middle. Kim Seon-il comes off his line to deal with that personally. 3 minutes have been added on at the end of this second half. Can Fulham stay unbeaten in Europe? I think even if we gave up a goal here, not that I want to give up a goal here, that would still be true. Played forward. Victor was going to intercept the chance for Endo, but Rumyansev picks his pocket, carries it forward. Rumyancev with the shot on, and João Gonçalves had to make the save, parries that one out behind. It's going to be a Fulham corner. Marco Morales to take it. Looking to deliver the in-swinger. He has a man on the near post. That's Alex Guest. This time he's going to find Jair, and João Gonçalves is going to reach up and make a pretty easy save when all is said and done. Full time, 4 wins, 2 draws, no losses in our first 6 European matches. And that will, in fact, be enough to secure a spot in the knockout. So Fulham is moving on to the next round. Can we stay a top 8 team? We've got Barcelona currently sitting in 4th. That has something they want to say about that. We have Atleti in 10th. They may have something to say about that. 2 massive sides from La Liga remain on our schedule. And speaking of which, we have massive games in the league against Manchester City, Newcastle, and Liverpool on deck. But we are coming back in the next episode for Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. Barca at the Camp Nou, Atleti at Craven Cottage. So can we make it all the way through to the round of 16 automatically in our first ever Champions League campaign? Well, you're going to have to come back tomorrow to find out. Thank you to everyone for joining us today. I appreciate each and every one of you for your eyeballs, all of your likes, all of your subscriptions, which means if you haven't liked this video or if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so now. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Until then, everyone, bye-bye.